Welcome back, everybody. Lots to review today. Lots of games yesterday. Honestly, I almost couldn't keep up with all of them, but some good results. We have groups A, B, and C completed today. We had. We'll start off with Group A. We had Mexico playing Czechia, and then South Africa playing South Korea. Mexico actually playing really, really well. I thought Czechia would give them a lot more problems. Czechia was a lot more underwhelming, and I would say after I think the second goal, Czechia kind of gave up a little bit. Mexico doing really, really good. It was also such a great pleasure to see Guillermo Ochoa play, their goalkeeper. For those of you who don't know, he's played in 6 World Cups, same as Messi and Ronaldo, and he's been the Mexican a legend for Mexico, and he's been a very good goalkeeper for them. And it was nice to see him come on in the last 15, 20 minutes to really honor his legacy. He probably won't play anymore, and that probably was his last game for Mexico, but it was really great to see, and all the best in his future endeavors. But yeah, Mexico definitely they came out on top, winning 3-0 over Czechia. Still very surprised. They had their young 17-year-old star score in this game. He impressed. He was pretty good. Still, this Mexico team is a bit of a rough watch. I don't, but that's the playing style that they've chosen. That's the way the manager wants to play. They aren't the prettiest team, but they have been able to get 3 wins out of 3. I particularly don't think they were tested in this group. They beat South Africa. That was a very bad South African team, and they got the red card. And then they beat South Korea, and that was just because of the goalkeeping error. I don't think they would have beat them. And South Korea, while Mexico has been on a positive trend, South Korea has been on a negative trend since their first game. And then Czechia, I thought Czechia would test them a lot more and fight more and go on their set pieces, but I don't think they played very well either. I think Mexico didn't really play competition that would prepare them for the knockout stages, but we'll see. I believe that they potentially can win their next game in the round of 32, but I don't see them getting past the round of 16. But overall, good results for Mexico. And then for the other game, the South Africa South Korea game, we had South Africa actually, in my eyes, somewhat upsetting South Korea. South Korea did not play well, and South Africa getting those crucial 3 points to finish second in the group and move on to the next stages automatically. You're not having to worry about being the one of the top 8 third place teams. South Korea, like I said earlier, they've performed worse as the tournament has progressed. Heung-min Son was benched for this game, and I think rightly so. And even when he came on, he really didn't do too much. Really, really disappointed in South Korea. I thought they would be a lot better in this tournament, and if they do happen to be knocked out, I think it's fully deserved. It is unfortunate. They do have some good history in the World Cup. They usually do decent, but unfortunately, I don't see anybody in this group winning the World Cup. So that is it for Group A. As for Group B, we had a lot of games there. We had a lot of goals too. We had Switzerland beating Canada, and we had Bosnia and Herzegovina beating Qatar. A lot of people, for some reason, a lot of people had Canada hyping this up as a close game, but I think Switzerland played while they didn't have the most shots and didn't dominate in the stats aspect. When I was watching the game, I think Switzerland was super comfortable. I don't think that they were very stressed by the Canadian team. I don't think the Canadian team played very well in the first half. And in the second half, Switzerland scored that early goal, and from there it was just all Switzerland, and I don't think Canada really had a response. Um, As for qualifying, Switzerland finishes first, Canada second, and Bosnia third. The Canadian team did impress, but I think they've been very lucky. I think they just barely got that draw against Bosnia to get that point, and I think they were very lucky with Qatar. I do think they were going to win that game, but Qatar getting those 2 red cards completely changed the goal difference, and I think that's the only reason that they're finishing second and not third. Um, Switzerland overall it was the best team in this group by far. Do I think Switzerland can make it far? I don't think so. I do believe that they will give some teams a fight, and it'll be difficult to play against Switzerland. But their team lacks, I would say, some true stars in there. Akanji is probably their best player, but he as at center back, and also their goalkeeper is also really really good playing at Borussia Dortmund. But other than that, I don't think it's a very very good strong side to really compete with the top teams in this World Cup. Uh, on to the second part of the group. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Qatar having a very exciting game, actually. I was very surprised by the scoreline. I thought it'd be a little bit closer. I thought Qatar would do a little bit better. Last World Cup's host, but Bosnia winning 3-1 was impressive. They scored some really good goals. There was a goalkeeping error at the end that that really sealed the game and allowed Bosnia to relax and confidently get that third place spot. And I do believe with those 4 points, they are one of the favorites, the top eight third place teams, depending on how the rest of the groups go. But I think 4 points really puts them in a really good spot. Really good game. Um, Same thing with this group. I don't think there's any contenders in this group for to win it all or even make it to the semifinals. It'd be and then it'd be a shock to me if they move that far. Overall, all nations here can be proud of their performances. Even Qatar, I don't particularly think they did really bad. They got that really good result against Switzerland in their opening game, getting that draw. But unfortunately, that second game against Canada didn't go their way, and it really put them on the back foot. All right, last but not least is Group C. This was the most exciting, I think, group of the day, and those games were super, super good. Brazil was playing Scotland, beat them 3-0, and Morocco was playing Haiti, and that game finishing 4-2. Brazil looked a lot more like the Brazil I expected to play in this tournament. Unlike South Korea, Brazil is actually, since the opening game, has improved every single game. You had players like Vinny Jr. Vinny Jr. now is tied second for the most goals behind Messi, and tied obviously with Mbappe, Erling Haaland. With the amount of goals, he has 4 goals in 3 games, and has really impressed. He's really taken this World Cup as his stage for him to show what he can do. He didn't have the best season at Real Madrid, but he's been insanely good for this tournament. And I think Brazil has improved each game and is looking stronger and stronger. Morocco was a good test. Morocco is a very good side as well, and it is the opening game, so I wouldn't take that draw uh, too seriously. While it is a big game, I do think Brazil will be performing, and I see them getting to the quarterfinals. Now, do they get past that? Is the real questions. Will they have the creativity against a better team? Will they have the skills to beat them? That's what we're gonna have to wait and see. I think if they do play at their best potential and all their players come out, I see Brazil as a potential finalist. But most likely, I see them dropping off in the semifinals. But excellent game. Scotland played. I'll be honest. Scotland also gave them not the toughest test in this game. Scotland giving away the first goal by mistake by McKenna, who passed was got the ball taken away from by Vinny Jr. Vinny Jr. trying to play from the back. I don't know why Scotland decided to play from the back in this game. They didn't do it against the other games as much. They try to play from the back against Brazil, which is not the team you want to try to do these risky passes. And Vinny scored. And then Vinny almost scored again by another mistake by the other center back in Scotland. Vinny pressed, Vinny got the ball, and Vinny scored. Luckily for him, he did touch the defender's foot, and it was called a foul. So, unfortunately, Vinny could have had a hat trick this game, but he did get his second goal later with the header, and Mateus Cunha got the third. But Scotland didn't play very well, but they did get better after the second half. I imagine their coach really got it and really yelled at them. Honestly, I would have yelled at them for their performance in that first half. And they did play better, but it was already too late. The damage was done, and Brazil dominantly beat Scotland. I think Brazil um, can be happy with the way the group stages finished. They finished first. The goals scored today really put them over the edge and made sure that they finished above Morocco. And then the last game on in this group is Morocco and Haiti. Now, I didn't watch many games from Haiti in the qualifiers, but I'm really really impressed with the way they performed. I think out of all they didn't get any points, but I think out of all the smaller teams, they're one of the few teams that really went out there to play. And they scored 2 goals, and it was in this game that they scored the 2 goals. And I think Haiti was a bit unfortunate. I think they could have drawn with Scotland. I think it was they were hard done there. I think that was a difficult game and I think they could have got a point there. They played. They were they lost to Brazil, and I think that was well deserved. But that is a very good Brazilian side. But this Morocco game, it was crazy. Haiti went up 1-0, then Morocco tied, and then Haiti went up 2-1. Then Morocco tied again, and later in the game, Morocco did score 2 more goals to really put this away. But it's insane to me how well this Haiti team did, and an amazing goal by Wilson Isidore from Sunderland scored an absolute screamer from outside of the box, but so good. I'm not from Haiti, but I'm really proud of their performances. Didn't get any points, but I think they left a big memory here in the World Cup, and I'm excited to hopefully see them again in the next World Cup. I think they did really good. Unfortunate that they were in such a tough group, but I think if they were in the position some other smaller teams were in or in a different group, I think they could have shown you something and could have moved on to the next stage. I have a lot of praise for them. And for Morocco, of course, a very good side. The current African champions. We'll see how that gets settled between Senegal, but very good team. Hakimi has been performing. Brahim Diaz has been performing, and their striker has also been performing, who's currently going to be going to Bayern Munich. Overall, Morocco is a very good team. I think they could be a dark horse. I think they could make the semifinals. They did really well the last World Cup, and I think they are the best. Alongside the Ivory Coast, these are the two best African teams. Morocco a little bit better, and I think they can surprise some people this World Cup. So I'm excited to see them in the next round. And that wraps it up for today's recap on the groups A, B, and C. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment, subscribe, and leave a like. Bye.